everyone. I'm B Esther Rani, Assistant Professor working in the Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Dundigal. In the previous session, we have discussed about communication, origin of communication, definition of communication, elements of communication, and seven C's of communication. Today, in this session, we are going to learn about listening skill, origin of listening skill, listening versus hearing, and then stages of listening. Coming to the origin of the word listen, every English word originated from either Latin, German, and British words. So here, the word listen, which is originated from German word hissen, which means to focus, to pay attention to focus on, which means to listen carefully, to focus on, and to watch, and to listen carefully what the speaker is speaking to. Coming to the definition of the listening. Listening is nothing but the ability to accurately receive and interpret the message to communicate the process. So here we have two words. One is accurately receiving and interpreting. What is accurately receiving? Receiving is a common process. When a person or when a speaker is speaking, the person who is listening to should receive accurately. And he is the one who is going to interpret or translate the message in the process of communication. So this is nothing but the ability of the listener who receives the message. So in the process of this listening, every individual, they listen to collect information, understand the subject, and make decision. What is meant by collecting information? Collecting information means the person who is listening to the speaker, while he was speaking to the congregation, audience, or if it is a faculty who is speaking to the students will collect information for the benefit of themselves. For example, for writing examinations, for taking notes, or anything. So they collect information from the speaker. And then understanding any subject. Here, subject means it's not only the information by the speaker, but also any other information. Means, see for example, two friends, those who are exchanging information from one person to other person, one will be acting as the speaker, the other will be acting as the listener. So, the information passed from one person to the other person will act as the subject. So, the one who is listening, he'll collect the information from the speaker and then they'll understand the subject received from them. So, here the last component or last aspect of listening is make decision. So, here, what is the connection between listen and making decision? So the one who listens carefully, one who has the ability to collect the information, and the one who has understanding capability of any subject or any information can easily make a decision. So this is all about the meaning of the listening skill. So now, we have another thing is, so here we have a myth. The people say that listening is same as hearing. Listening is same as hearing. Will you accept that? No. So listening always is not the same as hearing. Why? Because hearing is accidental. Hearing is involuntary. Hearing is effortless. And it is passive also. And coming to the listening is focused, it is voluntary, it is intentional, and it is active also. So, say for example, one example I would like to give you. For instance, say for example, as we are standing in the bus stop or waiting for the bus or a train. So, when we are waiting for the bus or train, the ear will receive all the mixture of sounds that were going on around us, as like the sounds of mic announcing about the arrival of the bus or train, or the people those who are selling eatables. And the other thing is the people those who are those who are wandering around us, talking or chit chatting about something. So, in the midst of all these things, the one who wants to listen will listen only to the announcements made by the person who is there in the counter about the arrival of the bus or training. So this is what we call difference between listening and speaking. So here we can see in this picture the faculty who is teaching seriously about the subject. Say suppose a few students are there in the class. Everyone is so carefully listening to her, but one girl who is looking out, might be she is thinking about what is there in her lunchbox or what to wear to the party where she is going to attend in the evening. So, in this way, so when we analyze this situation, the person who is listening carefully to the lecturer or the faculty is listening, and the one who is looking out, she is just hearing. Means every information is going inside the ear. Means ear is receiving the information like accidentally, involuntarily, like without any her own effort, which we call hearing. Once again, let's go back. See, hearing is accidental, as we have seen in the picture. It is involuntary, without her effort. The message or the lecture that was passed by the faculty was going inside the girl. And the other one is, it is nothing but it is effortless. She is not putting any effort on the lecture part. And then this is passive. She is not active in listening. Just she is receiving something. And coming to the listening part, the other girls or other students, those who are sitting in the picture, say, so they are so focusedly, they are listening to her. And this is voluntary action. And intentionally they are listening and they're active in listening part. So, hearing refers to the sounds you hear, whereas effective listening requires concentration and the use of our other senses like the ears, mouth articulation, and everything, not just hearing the words spoken. Let's come back to the listening. Listening is the ability to receive and interpret the communication process. The question, are you listening to me? This is the question often asked by many people to test whether the people are attentively listening or not. Basically, we have 4 forms of communication skills, that is, listening skills. They are L, S, R, W skills. L stands for listening, S stands for speaking, R stands for reading, W stands for writing. Out of all these skills, listening is the most important form of communication. So, every communication begins with listening only. So, here, as an example, let me take one example. When we walk into a new place, whether it's a workshop or a seminar or any function, So we never look at others. So here you see, when we walk into the function hall or a seminar hall, do we speak to them or do we listen? Listen to the person who asks us something. Definitely, according to me, we listen. We listen to ourselves. We listen to ourselves. In that way, that what I have wore, what is my attire in this function or in this seminar? Is there anyone to look at me? So in this way, we people, we are going to think about ourselves. Means we listen to us. We communicate ourselves within us. Then when we see a person who is comfortable to us, who is very interested to talk to us, then we start speaking. So listening starts first. Let's switch on to the stages of listening. Listening process involves 5 stages. 1. Receiving, understanding, remembering, evaluating, and responding. These are the 5 stages of listening. First stage of listening is receiving. Receiving is the first and foremost stage of listening process. The listener will receive the information from the speaker, paying total attention, means focused way. So always a listener must pay attention in a focused way on the speaker's verbal and non-verbal cues. Verbal cues of the speaker is his style, his fluency, the speech without any grammatical mistakes, and non-verbal cues are body language, which includes facial expressions, posture, gestures made by the hands, and then eye contact. These are non-verbal cues. So here, the second point what we have to see in the receiving process of the first stage of listening is avoid distractions. While the speech is going on, whether it's a faculty or the person who is standing on the stage and speaking about something. So we need to avoid distractions. What are distractions here? Distractions are looking at the cell phone, looking outside through the windows, or paying attention to others' words and commenting others, like talking to others, those who are sitting besides. These are the distractions. Will be like if we distract others, and this is nothing but distracting ourselves. So distraction is the one which distracts us and distracts others also. So we'll be disturbed by the people or gadgets or anything. And in the same way, others also will get distractions by us. And third point here is focus on the speaker, not on what they say next. So many people, they are so eager to assume what will be going in the next stage. So first of all, our focus must be on the speaker itself, what he is speaking, how far that we can receive that, and what is our next step. So this is very important, and we shouldn't think about the next thing, what he is going to do and what we have to do in that process. Then avoid interruption. Avoid interruption. This is a rude way of disturbing the speaker. Many people, while speech is going on, they keep on avoiding something like pre-assumptions. preoccupied mind. So with that to say, always they start interrupting the person who is speaking, that is what we call speaker, by raising their hands and doing some gestures. So all these things are interruptions in the process of speaking. And even for the listener, these are the interruptions in the process of listening, where if they go in that way, see, they are going to miss information, what the speaker is speaking. Next stage of listening is understanding. Here it is the process where you are planning for the response. If you understand well, you can respond well. So, whatever the speaker speaks, so the listener will accept that, and he is the person who has to encode the message passed by the speaker, and he has to give the reply. So understanding plays major role here, and this is the stage where really the listening starts. Accurately, the listening starts, because when you listen, you can understand. So in this process, the steps what we have taken to is avoid assuming you understand. Many students or many people, they feel that they understood everything. So in the process of listening, if you have all these assumptions saying that I understood everything and it is not needed for me to go further, so that is nothing but you are not going to receive anything, or further it will be a hindrance in the process of understanding. And the second point here is see speaker's point of view. So involve yourself in the process of listening and seek the speaker's point of view, means from which point of view the speaker is passing the information to us. So in the process of listening or in the process of speaking, the speaker who is mainly focused on the speech, so the listener also should receive his point of view. Then only the relationship between the speaker and the listener will come to a proper understanding. Then later, the next point is ask questions for clarification. Once if you understand everything, then you'll be in a position to ask questions for clarification. So in this stage, in the middle of the speech, you see, one should not disturb the speaker. So this is a vague method. So jot down the questions. So afterwards, when the speaker takes a bit pause, then you have to prepare to ask questions. And then the last one is paraphrase speaker's ideas. Once if you understand speaker's message, his intention, his point of view, and without avoiding assuming anything from your side, then you can paraphrase speaker's ideas. So if the receiver understands well, then he can prepare his questions to ask. And third stage of listening is remembering. This is all about retaining the information, recollecting the information. So this will happen when you receive the information well, when you understand the message sent by the speaker well, and then only you can remember all the points. Understanding is very important here. Receiving information is very important here. Unless you succeed in both the things, you cannot remember the points. So, to remember well, the best idea or best method is to identify central idea of the speaker, summarize the message of the person, and try to repeat the names and key concepts of the speaker. Fourth stage of listening is evaluating. This is the stage where you begin to prepare your response. But remember, still you're a listener. You haven't come out of the stage of listening. If you listen well, you can evaluate well. After the message has been absorbed, after you understand the message well, after remembering the points well in your mind, then you can come to the stage of evaluating. So, once if this process is done, now you are ready for evaluating others. Then, the last stage of listening is responding. After the completion of these 4 stages, the first one is receiving, second one is understanding, third one is remembering, fourth one is evaluating. The response will be so, after this, the response will be easier for the listener. At this stage, the listener is ready to give verbal and non verbal response, or we can say, in other words, feedback. Feedback might be in various forms. We can give the feedback by nodding our head, with a smile, a few gestures. So, but responding the message is very, very important. This is of 2 phases, during and after the message. So, in the process of responding to the speaker or giving feedback to the speaker, support the speaker with back channeling. Express support for the speaker. Respond honestly even in disagreement. Own your responses. Provide a supportive atmosphere. What are these? The first point is support the speaker with back channeling. Means, like when the speaker is speaking, the listener, he has to send feedback regularly so that the speaker will understand that so and so person is able to understand what he is going to speak, and express support for speaker. So in what way that you are going to support the speaker? Involve yourself in the process of listening. When you involve yourself in the process of listening, automatically the facial feelings of the face or facial expressions will be understood by the speaker, and respond honestly in the disagreement. Sometimes we may not understand what he is saying. We may not show, we may not have interest in that, but even after, we should not pull their legs. So we have to encourage them by nodding our heads, and by showing some sort of interest towards them, like smiling at them, and then own your responses. Like, in what way that we can own our response? While listening, you see, we shouldn't disagree the person who is speaking there. Apart from that, you see, we have to give our own responses, like looking at them like interesting look, and then supporting their views, all these things. And supporting atmosphere also. What is meant by supporting atmosphere? Or I think it is our body language. When we are listening, the body language of ours must give some sort of support to the speaker while he was speaking. Because, like when we sit in a relaxed way, that shows that we are not interested in that. So the speaker cannot go ahead. The result is we will not get the points what we are going to get. So we miss so many points. So we are the loser there. So that's why, so while listening, we have to give supporting atmosphere. So we should ignore the sounds around us. When a sound is coming outside, so we should not turn our head. Turning our head make the speaker think that the person who is listening is not interested in his speech. That's why leaving all these. So one should give support to the speaker. All these things which includes responding. So these stages of listening is like a process of chain. Once responding is over, again the receiving starts. then understanding, then it goes to like remembering, and after that evaluating and responding. Here in this slide, we could see all the stages of listening. Look at the image. In the first image, the person who is instructing something to the students, and they are receiving the content from the instructor. And second picture shows the person who is speaking to them, making them to understand, and everyone, they are in a position to understand the message or content delivered by the speaker. And third one is the process of remembering. The boy who is standing at the board, he started remembering everything and started writing on the board. After receiving, understanding, and what we call that remembering, evaluation starts. In the next picture, the people, those who got all these three stages, you see, they started evaluating the experiment and then feedback. So once if they understand, once if they remember, once they receive, once they evaluate, feedback will be very, very easy. Till we meet again, thank you so much for being with me today. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.